Micah Parsons had this to say about TJ Watt. Let's watch the video first, and then I'm going to talk about it after. But this guy is an absolute joke. Let's watch the video.
I'm not a sore loser. I thought it should went to Miles, if not me. I said that publicly. And it's just simple as that. Miles, you look at the Titans game alone, and no offense, but TJ played the Titans. Did you see 2 tight ends following TJ Watt? Did you see they're following him all across the line? People could say whatever they want, but at the end of the day, the film does not lie. His presence is way more dominant than TJ Watt, and that's just the reality of it.
So if you had to rank 5 guys in the NFL in terms of who gets to the quarterback the best, and what you guys do, how would you kind of rank them then, 1 through 5?
I think I'm probably the best pure speed pass rusher, but if you're going off defensive ends, run and everything, you can label that. But you're talking about pure pass rusher, I would say if you look at my win rate and I was the best one this year, so it would be me. And I would say Miles, and I would say Max, and I would say Nick Bosa. And then I would say
not TJ.
I mean, look at the stats. That's one thing, the stats don't lie. He was not top. I think he might have been 5th or 6th. Alex Highsmith, I think, had a better pass rush rate and a more double team rate than TJ Watt, if you really want to be statistically. This isn't my stuff. I'm not just pulling this out my ass. Look at the stats.
So the only thing I'm just going to say about this is I just know when you say something like this, what the reaction is going to be. People are going to think that you and TJ Watt have some beef and stuff like that when you get the Cowboys and the Steelers fan bases all intertwined. There's no beef with you and TJ Watt.
There's no beef at all. One thing I hate about the NFL community and NBA community, we just hate when someone else wins. When I lost to TJ, I did not go in and say I got snubbed. I just said I'm going to go to work. When I lost to Nick Bosa the year after that, I did not say I got snubbed. I just said I'm going to work. When the biggest mistake in people is that the saying that someone is not deserving. Who are you to say someone's not deserving of an award of that magnitude?
Mate, Micah Parsons wasn't even really in the conversation at all. If anything, it was TJ Watt and Myles Garrett. Those are the 2 blokes they were talking about the most. TJ Watt should have won the award, Defensive Player of the Year. Micah Parsons, with his comments, not even rating TJ Watt as top 5, is absolute lunacy. Lunacy. He's a good player too, but lunacy. He wasn't even in the conversation about being DPOY of the year. And then he's putting TJ Watt under the bus. Talks about stats, right? Let's talk about stats. And I showed this last time with Myles Garrett. TJ Watt had the better season. TJ Watt was more impactful on the team and as a player and as a defense. He was much more impactful as a player to be Defensive Player of the Year. Myles Garrett shouldn't have won. And then we have comments backed up by Micah Parsons saying, you want to talk about stats. TJ Watt had many more tackles, right? In solo or sacks, pressures, more QB hits, 1 more tackle for a loss, forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, interceptions, pass deflections, touchdowns. You want to talk about stats. The stats, if you want to judge from that way, and that's what Micah Parsons said, going back to him, said you got to go back to the stats. He's not even top 5, and then talking about 2 tight ends. And then, when in the league where Myles Garrett almost halfway gets it. I actually can't believe how people can't see this. It's not just Steeler Nation. Steeler Nation, we should be very pissed off about TJ Watt not winning it. But a lot of the NFL players out there and NFL guys around the media or other teams are like, nah, man, Myles Garrett had that 100%. It's all narrative based. They're trying to build him up in the Browns. They're trying to build up the Ravens by giving that to Lamar Jackson. I don't think he should have won MVP. And by the way, the Steelers, they're no match for us. The Pittsburgh Steelers have beaten the Ravens 7 out of 8 times. If we didn't have Trubisky, who lost that game for us, it will be 8 times out of 8 times, which in 4 years, you haven't beaten us. Only once. You've beaten the Steelers once. So you look at these stats, no matter how you put it, right? how you put it, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. TJ Watt should have won. He should have won. This should be my very last video. I'm kind of sick of talking about it, but I wanted to bring it up because Micah Parsons making comments. Myles Garrett wins it. TJ Watt, he made his comments. And you know what as well? I'm kind of glad that TJ Watt didn't go to the ceremony. They're the NFL honors because it is what my mate Matty Peverill says in his upcoming video. It's a dishonor. Like, the fact is that TJ Watt played the best season he could have, and he should have been labeled Defensive Player of the Year. If anything, I would have been happy to see that cornerback from the Cowboys, Bland. He got 6 TDs, right? 6 or 7 interceptions and 6 TDs to the house. I would have been okay for him to win it because that's production on the field, and you're scoring 6 TDs. That's 36 points for your team. That's worthy of Defensive Player of the Year. Myles Garrett almost getting a half sack or becoming 7th or 8th in the league. That is like tackles for a loss, or Micah Parsons trying to fit his way into the situation too, saying, look at the stats. It's an absolute joke. But this will be the last time I'm talking about it. The next few days, we've got Super Bowl coming up. Steelers went out and signed 3 coaches. I might talk about them after the Super Bowl or near so. Or the next video, I might try and cover those 3 coaches. I'm pretty keen to see what can happen with the new offense, Arthur Smith, and the 3 new coaches. Mike Sullivan, I think he might be sticking around in a different role. So things are looking up for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But all this crazy stuff is only going to fuel TJ Watt further and further and further. Dead set. TJ Watt's going to be pissed off. He's going to play his best year ever. He's going to break the sack record next year. What is it, 23 and a half? And he should have had it before the year before. So don't get it, man. I don't get it. I'll see you later. You want to talk about stats? Well, you talk about stats. TJ Watt had the better season in stats and also on gameplay that was in 2023. Final word, TJ Watt should have won Defensive Player of the Year.